Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fresh Ink by Ultimate Autographs. And yes, we are wearing headsets, and yes, we've got some improved microphones. We're ready. We're the real deal here now at Ultimate Autographs.
You can now listen to us on most audio devices and in the car, and it doesn't sound like shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's always a plus.
It's always a great thing to be able to understand somebody. But our good pal RJ is putting some time into trying to develop the quality of this podcast as much as he can with the headsets that make us look a little foolish.
I think professional.
Sure.
Professionally foolish?
Professionally foolish. That's good. So NFL edition today. Adam Johnson to my right. Forgot to introduce you.
That's all right.
I'm Donnie Rollins, the all-loving host so far. This week of July 17th. And
something like that.
The week of?
This is
no,
rough.
it's not the week of. It's like today's the 23rd on a Wednesday, so it's the 21st.
Sometime in July.
Yeah,
July 20th. We're July 20th.
We're on a
2019.
We're on a podcast marathon.
What a
today.
rough start.
Yeah,
probably the worst start.
I got a kid doing like 3 days, so we're banging out a few episodes.
I think we're gonna restart this episode.
I think we shouldn't, but
no, don't restart.
No shame.
This is fresh.
This is the new us.
Fresh, dude. This is fresh.
Edit, cut. All right, so NFL edition. We're going to talk about potential MVP candidates. Who's going to be your MVP at the end of the season? Who's going to have the best record? Who's going to have the worst record? And we're going to talk a little bit about an HBO special called Hard Knocks.
Ooh.
And it's one of my favorite shows.
I think it's going to be the best season yet.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. So first things first, let's talk. And then we're going to move actually into Adam. He brought up a good topic today. I don't know what article released the information.
Bleacher Report, little article called Bleacher Report.
Sure.
Legitimate source. They released the top 10, NFLPA released the top 10 jerseys going into 2019 as far as sales go. I'm going to make you guys try to figure out who's on that top 10. And then we're going to see if that top 10 of jersey sales relates to what we see in memorabilia.
Sure.
If we kind of see a parallel there.
Correct.
So we'll see about that.
Great. So we're just going to have to guess the top 10 and how that kind of goes hand in hand with their memorabilia sales.
It wasn't, not to spoil it, but it wasn't super surprising, but there was some surprising ones where I don't think it translates that well to memorabilia.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Gotcha. So first things first, topic number one, potential MVP candidates for the upcoming 2020 season.
Who to invest in now.
Right.
Is it
2020 or is it 2019?
2019.
Is it 1920? Yeah.
We had this issue. We always have this issue every March. Pro Bowl, when we go to the GTSM shows, Pro Bowl. What year? And the players are the ones who are the worst. They don't even know.
Here's the best. It's season 100. Spoiler alert.
Oh, there you go.
It's season 100.
That's very cool.
Let's just call it season 100.
Okay.
So who will be your season 100 MVP, RJ?
I'm gonna go with. You're probably thinking that we're gonna think of a
exactly
team up
what
north,
say.
but I'm not. I'm gonna say Patrick
Really?
Aloysius Mahomes. That is not his middle name, but
that would be a sweet middle name.
Or Wilhelm. Patrick Wilhelm Mahomes.
Is it Wilhelm?
No, that's actually Leonardo DiCaprio's middle name.
Oh,
fun fact. Yeah, I think Pat Mahomes is primed to, after what happened last year against the Patriots, come back, and I think he's in control of his team, and they are looking to win.
Yeah, I don't agree. Just because I think sophomore slump. Not that he's going to slump. I think he's still going to be a Pro Bowler, one of the best quarterbacks. But everyone's going to be going for him. All the defense are going for him. They're going to figure him out. We saw a little bit, not a lot of digression in the playoffs, but more so just teams starting to adapt to him. I think he's definitely in the top 5, but he's almost too easy of an answer. But if we're talking sports memorabilia, I think right now you invest in a guy by the name of Tom Brady. I think you start sitting on his product.
I never heard of him.
Now.
That was one hell of an investment.
And you wait till this season's over. That thing will be worth something.
Could be.
He's not my pick. He's too old in my opinion, and the Patriots' offense is too boring now to where it doesn't make a difference.
Man, boring, but they win.
You know what? I had it. I think it's such a toss-up this year because I think there's so many good young guys, and I think there's a lot of turnover in team that it really could be anyone's ballgame. I kind of want to go with Drew Brees for no reason other than I think he's kind of hurt from the way the team ended last year. I think he's got a lot of talent around him as far as Kamara goes. Some good guys on the outside with Michael Thomas. They're working with a lot of young guys, too, to try to find that number 2 and 3. But I think he's going to be kind of on a go-out tour. He's going to have one more big season. He was slowed down big time at the end of the year, which makes me want to hammer him as an underdog MVP candidate this year.
It's good. I mean, he's got everything to prove now. I mean, he's proved himself in the past.
Right, he's proved himself for sure.
With the way the season ended, he's got more to prove this year as a sort of a comeback level in his He's definitely a Hall of Fame quarterback.
I think there's
regardless.
a lot of turnover in that division as well. I don't think I think the Falcons are always going to be kind of middling. They could either have a good year or a bad year just based off who they have on offense. Panthers, I mean, I don't even think Cam Newton's playing this year, so I mean that's a team you can kind of beat up on twice a year. And then Buccaneers.
Yeah,
it's the Buccaneers for now.
They'll win the first 3 games and then finish.
So, who's even the quarterback for the Bucs this year?
It's gonna be Jameis.
Okay.
If that helps them at all.
Yeah. I mean, I hope it does. I like Jameis, but he's been in and out the last couple of years. So yeah, Drew Brees is kind of a wild card. He had such a down end of the year last year that I'm gonna say he's gonna figure it out. He's gonna come back and just be on fire.
That's good. I was thinking of a couple different guys that aren't clear-cut candidates. I was thinking Jared Goff because I think he has insane potential, and their team is going to be insane again.
I mean, they just added more talent.
Exactly. I just really like Jared Goff too. He's a good kid.
Who did they add? Just remind me.
Clay Matthews.
Okay, so on the defensive side.
Defensive side of the ball, which I think was probably their biggest problem.
Yeah. No, I think
not
their
biggest,
defense is great.
Well, they were good up front. I think they lacked a little bit in the middle, and the linebackers weren't super deep.
Drafted the kid from. What was his name? They drafted Taylor Rapp. Is a safety, I believe.
Safety. Okay, so they got a little bit of depth more.
Right,
on defense.
a little bit of rookie. I just know that because contenders. But,
contenders draft.
Yeah, that's how I know it. I mean, it's good.
Washington.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say Jared Goff just because I think he has great potential. I'm gonna go. Andrew Luck will be the NFL MVP next year. Andrew Luck. I just really like Andrew Luck. I mean, I'm not being biased, but I really like watching Andrew Luck play. I think he's added a weapon in Funchess, and the offense seemed to be clicking a lot last year. And now they have him, who's a little bit of a role wide receiver who can help out in deep ball situations. We know he's tall. I stood right next to him one day. He really towered over me, but that's not hard. But I think Andrew Luck breaks out and has an MVP quality season, and the Colts dominate that division.
I also like to see the addition of letters from General Luck, the Twitter Twitter account.
That's a good one.
The Civil War era.
That's a good one.
Tweets.
Yeah.
Big fan of those. So it would be nice to have him playing again and getting some quality tweets.
They added some depth though. I mean,
Yeah.
Devin Funchess, we know him well.
Right. Paris Campbell on the defensive side of the ball.
Right.
Rookie
Eric
from-
Ebron's always going to be consistent as long as Luck's his quarterback.
Just Ebron. Remember,
Ebron, right?
Just
Doesn't
Ebron.
go
He
by
doesn't
Eric.
like Eric.
Can't do that.
That's
his
what
dad's
funny.
name.
But I think he's poised. I think honestly, he's got a good.
That's what he said.
Luck's
I
got
know.
a good receiving core. I think
Yep,
he's got
absolutely.
a lot of guys to throw to.
Yeah.
Ebron coming off of a career season last year, right? One of the
Yeah, I think
better
he
years he's had.
led the league in touchdowns for tight ends, or if not in general.
He was
up
close
there.
to receivers. He was like
Yeah.
top 5.
Easily.
He's
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
He's a great.
And then
He's a great addition.
three-headed monster running back with Marlon Mack's number 1, but then
Right,
Hines
Hines.
and Wilkins is a nice little.
And they have the best offensive line in football.
Yeah,
Hands
they're
down.
up there.
My
They're
favorite.
young, too. I
offensive-
mean, you're right. That's a good pick. Defense, they're just as good. So.
Right. I like the
Super team.
Mahomes. Safe.
Yeah.
And he's arguably the most talented player in the NFL.
I agree with that.
He's the most talented player in the NFL. I wanted to say Baker Mayfield, being that they added probably the best wide receiving option that they could possibly add to that offense.
I think the Browns are good. I'm not there yet on them though.
Yeah, he's still not there.
That's fair. I saw him walking into training camp today. He had a T-shirt of himself on, and I'm a huge fan of that.
I like the confidence.
I'm a huge fan of that
I like
stuff.
the confidence. I do, but we got to kind of see the changing of the guard because I think even though Mahomes won it last year, it's like there's still that upper echelon of quarterback. If any of those guys have a good year and their teams have a good year, they kind of like defaults to them. It's like the young guys still quite aren't there yet, unless they have a monster season like Mahomes. But I think if the Brees, the Rodgers, the Bradys, if they're good and their team's good and they make a run, it's like it's hard to pass those guys up.
And there are certain guys I would like to see move into that upper
like
echelon.
Mahomes already there. Don't get me wrong.
I want to see
Baker,
I want to see
Goff,
Deshaun Watson kind of move up into their Pro Bowl quarterback, but not in that level.
Mitch
I don't
Trubisky.
think. Mitch Trubisky, he'll make it. He'll get there.
He was a good Vegas value pick. You could have hammered. The line moved. I mean, when they came out, he was low, very low. I'm surprised he was even on there really, but people hammered him and his stock went up. So.
I could see that. I could see him kind
value
of
pick.
breaking
That's my
through.
value pick.
I think they need to give him more tools. I think he doesn't have enough weapons to be what.
This is the year. I mean,
Also, his Madden rating is 75.
That's low.
That's low.
His field vision's not the best.
He's got to be more accurate.
Man.
No doubt about it. His legs
That's
are going to
true.
get him. They're going to win him some
I thought he would
downs
be
and
like
some-
an 80.
Yeah, I mean any starting quarterback. I mean he's a Pro Bowler. I mean I get it. He's a Pro Bowler. He didn't actually
I think
wasn't top 3, but
any starting 16-game quarterback should be over an 80.
This is a year. Second year in the offense. Decent talent. around him as far as offense goes. Really good defense, kind of keep him off the field. So it's
Sure.
like, if he can buy in and lock in, I think he'll make strides. But he's not quite there yet. Not quite there yet.
Cool. Moving on from that, the best team after the season's over. Who will have the best record in the NFL after the regular season?
Okay.
Doesn't have to be the playoffs,
Alright.
but who will have the best record at the end of the regular season? Adam, I'll start with you.
This is such a toss-up. I think especially this year, since there's a lot of bad teams now becoming good and a lot of good teams now starting to age. I like the way the NFL does it to where based off your record last year, you kind of have a couple wild card games in there where you play teams of the similar record, so it's not always the best teams up at the top. As far as best record, I think a sleeper is the Chargers, LA Chargers. They're always that team that gives you like, that 12-win season, that 13-win season, then they lose in like their first playoff game or whatever. I could see that happening again. It's a tougher division, but I think they got a lot of good veteran leadership. Pretty solid on both sides of the ball. They were right there last year, and they dropped a couple games that they should have won. I think the Chiefs will be a little bit down this year. They lost a couple guys on defense, and then just teams kind of starting to figure them out. I think that might be
and Kareem Hunt. They lost Kareem Hunt too.
Right. So I think the Chargers are in line to make a nice little run. But we'll see if Phillip Rivers can win one at the end of the year.
What's the record going to be?
12 wins, 12-4.
12-4. That's the best record in the NFL after the regular season.
I think so.
12-4.
I mean, I would say that's probably. What do you think? That's been the best record the last couple of years. 13-3.
Pretty
I thought it was.
standard. 13-3 gets it. But
What did the Rams finish last year?
I think 13-3.
13-3.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the NFL is just so balanced this year.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
It's going to be one of the better years to watch because even the bad teams have something to offer. You know? So
There's no like in the NBA, the Warriors. You can fast forward the season, and the Warriors will be in the finals.
Right. And I feel
With
like every year too, it's like, oh man, the Falcons, they're going to be right back in the AFC Championship, and then end of the season they're 5-11. It's
Right.
one injury or just one thing goes wrong for a team, and a team that's projected to be in the top 5 finishes in the bottom 5. The turnover is crazy, so it'll be it's a crapshoot.
I
think there'll be
like
like four teams go 12-4.
Okay, that's fair.
Chargers being one of them.
I've been tolling with this one. We talked about the Colts being a good team, poised to probably make some strides.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be the wild card guy today, and I'd love to see the Browns win 12 games.
Oh yeah,
I think it would be
chaos.
Freaking real. I'm a Packer fan. I honestly don't care. I just want the Packers to win 11 to 12 games so they can compete this year. But honestly, I think it should be a lot of fun. And I think they have the weapons to do it. Both on and speaking of breaking news and stuff, I guess the biggest rumor is the Browns are heavily pursuing Mike Daniels, who was just cut by Green Bay.
Wow.
So adding another defensive weapon, I mean, they still have space. They have cap space. They have the ability to add some big name talent. I think they're not done adding pieces throughout training camp. So it could be I'm going to say it just because I like to be the one who said I said it. So
yeah. Just to go on record, we're not that great at predicting stuff here on the show.
No, not at all. We are wildly
what
We sucked at Russell Westbrook.
Oh yeah, we didn't even
That's
bring
even-
it up the right.
No, we were. There was been a couple things that we predicted that were off.
I will bet you he didn't even talk to the Sixers.
Oh no way.
Not even
No.
like, there was not even
No.
like a text like a, hey, how's your day going?
No. Vladimir Guerrero, we predicted. I think I predicted
You
right
had that
though,
one, yeah.
but you
were
and
right on the head.
G Baby were off there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think the Browns are poised to actually make Cleveland happy.
Yeah, it's about time they're happy.
Cleveland and happiness is
Sure.
not synonymous.
No.
They'll finish at 12-4.
I think they'll be a
12-4 will be the best record.
I could see that. So I said 4 teams, 12-4. I totally agree. Colts.
Okay.
Are one of those 4
Colts or the Browns?
or Browns. I mean,
I think the Colts could be
Colts even too.
Yeah,
Watch.
It's,
Hold on. I
Right,
think my
are we writing this
MVP,
down?
my MVP candidate, goes hand in hand with the best record in the NFL after
Usually
the regular
does, yeah.
season.
Yeah.
Andrew Luck
all right.
and the Colts finish at
Ooh.
13-3.
All right. So they're going to be the best.
They will be the best team after the regular season in the NFL. 13-3.
Weaker division, so it definitely could happen.
Yeah.
A division that could be a crapshoot, but for the most part, if you're stacking teams up, a lot of the other 3 teams in that division are more so towards the bottom.
Yep.
Got Jaguars with Nick Foles. Could go
Yeah.
either way. Texans with Deshaun Watson and
Right.
Hopkins.
That's a tough
Could
battle
go either
for them.
way. J.J. Watt.
Those 2 games and Clowney, those 2 games that with the Texans will be they'll be splits.
Okay.
I think that's one of
I
their
mean,
losses in the
interdivision, you
regular
got to
season.
assume you're going to
Right,
split with
exactly.
somebody. And then you got the Titans.
And they'll beat them every time.
Yeah. Even though they make the playoffs, they didn't make the playoffs because the Colts got in last year, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But they're always right there.
So
But-
fun question to throw out. Not the worst team, obviously, but Patriots 10 or above. Over 10
Over.
wins. Close
Yeah,
or like
I always hear the expression, I'm going to be a year late to the Tom Brady downfall train than a year early, so I'm going to have to go with over, as much as I hate to say
over
it.
10. All right, yeah, I think
Pound the over.
just over.
Pound the over.
I'm putting it like maybe
Again,
11
another
wins.
division that's just really, really unproven. I mean, a division where I think it's all rookie, second-year quarterbacks.
They'll win the division, and they'll go 12-4.
Yeah,
There'll be another one of the 12.
There'll be another 12-4 team.
Bills, I mean, you're playing against Josh Allen, which these guys will be good someday, I'm sure.
I really like
got
the
big
upside.
hands.
there.
Josh Rosen in Miami, and people forget Josh Rosen's in Miami, and then you got Sam Darnold in New York, which, again, those guys could have a Mahomes-like season, or they could be, not even starting by the end of the year. So
Out of those guys, I think Darnold proves himself this year. I think Darnold has the biggest upside
he
this year.
proved himself I think Josh Allen did a little bit too, and Rosen not so much, but only because he didn't really have a lot of opportunity as far as talent around him. But Allen did well in the time he played. I mean, again, not a great team. And then Sam Darnold, I thought, did good for what he was off.
I agree.
The opportunity he had. So
those are, you said, they're young quarterbacks, but they're all fun to watch, being that they've got a ton of upside.
Right.
Those three individuals.
A lot of fun to collect.
Second-year guys. Yes,
the industry
correct.
Goes. I mean, those guys.
I was just going to say, like, moving into memorabilia, those guys are chases for investment purposes.
Right. And that's what they are right now, is an investment. Go
Correct.
get them while they're under $100 for a signature.
Correct.
And sit on that later when that Tom Brady's worth $1,500.
Yeah.
So.
Right. I think Sam Darnold's a great investment this year. Just putting it out
division to watch from a collector's standpoint.
Correct. Watching that division, Brady will hold his value forever.
Right.
And the other three will kind of move themselves up the ranks.
Yeah, it's kind of both ends of the spectrum.
What's the market on autographed folding tables for Buffalo?
Good.
That would be pretty cool,
High.
actually. I'm surprised I've never seen that. I mean, Josh Allen will inscribe Bill's Mafia, Let's Smash Some Tables, I think like Circle the Wagons or whatever. But yeah, folding tables would be something that would be awesome.
Be fun to do a show live from the heart of Bill's Mafia.
I think they toned it down. Whatever
They did.
field they play at said that like they're cutting back, like they're not going to allow that stuff anymore, which just sucks.
Luckily enough, though, friends of mine are Bills fans and season ticket holders. They have a parking lot
that's what I
literally
heard.
across the street from the main parking lot.
Right.
So they'll just
They'll just
bring
do
the
it
tables over there. So
yeah.
might be the new hot spot for Bills Mafia.
Yeah, there you go.
That's where they.
Now moving a little bit from best team, best record was 12-4 for you guys. I said 13-3. Who will be the worst team with the worst record after the regular season next year?
Okay, I'll start. I kind of have a vendetta with this team, only because I wasn't crazy about the moves they had, and that was the Arizona Cardinals. I know they got Kyler Murray, and I know it's like Baker fever that, oh my God, he's going to come in here and do what Baker Mayfield did. But it's like I don't really get the philosophy. I mean, you spend a first-round pick, and I believe they might have traded up a spot or two to get to number 9 or 10 to get Josh Rosen. And then you trade him after one season, a season that you kind of set him up to fail anyway.
Stupid, yeah.
It's like, I get it. If he's the number one player on your board and you have the number one pick, you got to go for it. But I don't think they gave Josh Rosen too much of a chance. I'm excited to see him in Miami now. Don't love the philosophy there, so I'm going to go with Arizona.
I'm going to go with your beloved Minnesota Vikings.
Wow.
Not yours,
Wow.
but I think they're going to be one of the worst teams in football. I think they had a massive
I hope you're right.
forgot to
upset
ask you.
last year with, they were so high on Kirk Cousins.
That's a hot take.
They were
I
so
like that, though.
so high on him, so ready to be, the North is ours and all this stuff. And I just think it's going to spiral out of control. They spent a lot of money. Their hands are tied. Their front office is panicking, and it's just going to get worse from here.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, I forgot to ask you, what do you think the record the Cardinals will be?
3-13.
Okay.
I don't even know. 3 is a weird number because I feel like if you win 3 games, you can win 4. So it's almost like I want to go even worse than 3. But 3-13 usually seems to be like the worst record.
It's tough.
I think 4-12. I think 4 is going to be
4-12 for the Vikings.
Again, just like it's balanced at the top. I think it's balanced at the bottom too. I think there's going to be a couple teams that have 3 to 4 wins.
Here's the thing. My thought with the Vikings is you have the Bears who went to the playoffs last year. They had a good season.
Right.
You have the Packers who are just pissed at how bad they played, and they won't be that bad again.
Right.
Then you have the Lions who Matt Patricia's trying to make that team better.
I can see them being.
And they always they're due right now for another like close to a wild card spot come the end of the year. Above 500 season. They're due for one of those, and I think Minnesota's just going to catch the downturn. And losing to those 3 division teams
to see them
are going to just
suck.
I think make their out of division teams
Yeah.
even worse. Like it makes their out of division games even
Correct.
worse,
Right.
Because they're just so unfocused and they know the division's already lost. And what's there to play for?
Sure.
And you have guys you lose the clubhouse.
Sure. And you can kind of see a little bit of tension between Thielen and Cousins there at the end of the season, too.
Yeah.
And if those two have a falling out, the whole team is done. I mean, Thielen is one of the best receivers in the game.
Two pretty nice guys, too. It's kind of funny
Yeah,
that those
isn't that
guys would
weird?
have the
They're a few-
quarrel.
They're just so competitive.
Yeah,
They're
sure.
so
They're a
competitive.
Different
few
world.
threads away from unraveling. So
Yeah,
I can see it.
I'd love it. I'd love to see it.
I would love to see the Vikings suck.
Who's your pick?
I'm going to go with the New York Giants.
See, I can see it,
They
but
can
there's a
happen.
lot of talent there.
Eli is our quarterback.
I just don't see it happening for them this year.
I guess you're right. OBJ's gone.
I want the best for Saquon because I like watching him. I think he's a great face for that team, but I just don't see it. I mean, they have no other weapons besides
Not on offense, no.
No, on offense. I mean,
I'm
they're
excited
gonna-
to see Daniel Jones, though. I hope
Yeah.
he gets
I hope he gets some time.
just play him.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm gonna
Nothing
think
lose.
Saquon's going to get 40 touches a game, and if you have a middle linebacker strapped to him at all times,
Yeah.
he's a hard man to catch and a hard man to take down. But if
It's
you
hard-
focus your defense on him, you can take him out of the game
It's
completely.
hard to say. It'll be interesting to see how New York plays it, knowing that, there is no talent. Are they going to give it to Saquon even less? Because it's like, what's the point of running him into a brick wall?
I can see that.
So maybe he gets even less carries just to protect him and let the 6th, 7th undrafted guys get the half the carries a game, too, and just kind of preserve his legs. But it could happen. I'm excited to see Daniel Jones, though. I hope he does well, just because, again, Trubisky syndrome. Just because he played at Duke, nobody watched him play. Everyone just assumes he's not going to be good, where obviously that's not the case. Maybe not the 6th overall pick, but you can't write him off just because you'd never seen him play on Saturday.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You think if they have this bad season, Saquon gets moved just like OBJ?
No, I don't think you can.
They
I
hold
think,
on to it?
I think he's a
move him.
franchise face of the NFL type
Exactly.
player.
That's what I mean
So
by
where you bring people to him, you don't ever trade a guy like that. And unless he plays himself out of it, kind of like OBJ was a little bit too much at times, to where I don't think New York was super upset about moving him just so they don't have to deal with the drama. I don't see Barkley being like that at all.
And in terms of memorabilia stuff, I would say if you're going to invest in Saquon Barkley autographs, get them at the end of this next season.
Yeah.
Because his value is going to be so low because their team is going to be bad.
Yeah, they're going to forget
Bad. You're going to forget that Saquon's on the team.
Yeah,
and
It's a good point.
his rookie stuff is going to be so down because their team is bad. So huge market, New York, don't get me wrong. But invest at the end of the season. I know you're going to want to spend on those RPAs and stuff. National Treasure's like $5,000 for something like that. They'll be down and you can get them. And then after next year, there's potential for them to be a ton better. And
That's
then his
very true.
value goes right back up.
It's a good way to look at it. I never think of it that way.
Absolutely.
Trying to talk about the investments in this
It's
situation.
all about investing.
Exactly.
You gotta beat him to the punch. You gotta find that guy before he's that guy.
Because, GMs are rebuilding the program just like, you would rebuild your investments
Right.
in a similar sense.
That's exactly what it is.
So another team that is rebuilding, how about that transition? Hard Knocks on HBO is coming to Oakland, which will be Las Vegas soon enough
Yeah.
for the Oakland Raiders. And I'm excited to see
This
that.
might be the best season of Hard Knocks ever, and there's been some really good seasons.
I thought the Browns one was fantastic.
That one was good.
John Gruden Uncensored is going to be one of the
It's
most
gonna be
wonderful
It's gonna be
things.
so fun to watch him
Yes.
just yell at Derek Carr.
Yeah, I'm going to have the clicker out. How many F-bombs get dropped in an episode?
So many.
Yeah, it'll
He
be cool
might
to see.
Just take a
Cool to see.
drink every time he says that
Break
word.
my thumb's going to
Might be
dislocate.
dead.
There's a lot to like there, and too from a collector standpoint, we kind of talked a little bit off camera about, who's a guy on this roster who will kind of create his own legendary market
Mhm.
just because he's a star.
Mhm.
Is it going to be a guy who's already like an Antonio Brown who's already established, or is it that guy like we saw last year with Devin Kajust, the 4th tight end who fought to make the team? I don't know how collectible he is, but just from a fan and a reality TV standpoint, who could be that guy that steps into that limelight and just makes it a show?
It gives you another reason to try to collect him,
Right.
other than his performance. Oh, this guy was hilarious on Hard
Right.
Knocks. Let me grab
Go
a
get
helmet.
his contenders auto for
Yeah.
his
Look at
6th
all
round pick.
the linemen, like O and D linemen that they focus on and show, and cutting their sleeves off and all
Right.
kinds of just
Mhm.
fun. You get to learn, you get to know guys that, especially when you're not, when you don't follow the Raiders. We live in the Midwest. You don't hear anything about
No.
them
Right.
outside of big moves they make. I think also,
Trading Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
Yeah. We heard
Thank
a
you.
lot about
That was a nice
Thank
connection.
you.
I think AB will shine in the camera. I think he's gonna absolutely love having those camera guys around.
Yep.
I agree. He's a bit of a showman.
Oh yeah,
He was on the Masked Singer. I think he
Yeah.
was one of the players who was on the
He
Masked
was
Singer.
pretty good too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the first one eliminated though.
Oh.
He showed promise that he likes being in the limelight.
Oh, dude, he showed
and
promise the day he stepped in the NFL.
For him to be the limelight in Oakland this year is going to be fantastic for TV.
I'm interested to see how his relationship goes with Derek Carr, because Derek Carr doesn't seem to be that flashy, down to earth guy a little bit. The relationship between those two, we'll know going into the season right away how they're going to work together just based off the interaction on the first couple episodes.
Oh yeah, and then you have Josh Jacobs, who I think might be the
really
biggest.
Good,
who's
really
going to be the biggest breakout rookie this year.
Really good
opinion.
E60 about him. His upbringing came from not much and just really worked his ass off to get to where he needs to be.
He's going to be so good this year. I have high hopes for him. But again, in terms of the investments, I think Derek Carr's stuff is at an all-time low right now.
Yeah, I think so.
And if you want to invest in Derek Carr, get it now. Wait for his HBO special to come out. He's going to be the star of the show. He's a starting quarterback, Pro Bowl quarterback. I mean, now he's got a new weapon to play with. So if you're going to invest in somebody from that team, I would go for Derek Carr. His stuff's down. He had a bad year. And as long as he can get together with Gruden and make sure he doesn't get benched or traded, because Gruden loves to trade guys away. Thanks for Khalil Mack again.
There's a lot of good rookie chases too. I mean, guys who we saw at the CSA show just a couple weeks ago was Clelin Ferrell, number 4 pick.
Yeah,
kid from Clemson, huge, super nice guy too. He's totally built and comes across as a guy who's going to be a superstar. People went after him for overdrafting, but man, just by shaking that guy's hand,
did it hurt?
Just about.
Yeah.
And then they got a couple guys in secondary
knuckle.
too. Jonathan Abram from, I believe, Alabama.
Yep.
Another guy. So
he was at the show too.
Yeah, he was at the show too. Again, really nice guy. Totally down to earth group of guys. So I have faith in the moves they made in that first round. Did they get a quarterback to challenge Derek Carr? Because I know they talked about Kyler Murray might be in the mix. He might be in the mix. I don't think there's anyone behind Derek Carr.
I don't really think he has anyone.
I don't think so.
So no storyline there.
Competition.
I think after this season though, they'll bring somebody in. If Derek Carr doesn't perform,
right, this is it.
This is his last shot.
Because who was it last year? I mean, didn't they have E.J. Manuel or something where he retired? I don't know, but
I wouldn't be worried.
You can always bring in Seneca Wallace.
I
hear he really helps you.
They had a revolving door of young guys. They had Hackenberg for a while. I don't think he made it.
It's a good
Connor
name.
Cook from Michigan State. I don't think he ended up. I don't know.
Hackenberg ended up in the Alliance of American Football, which
Memphis Express.
RIP&P.
Did he play for the Memphis Express?
Yeah, he was.
That's awesome that you know that.
He was not very good.
He was an Alliance guy. Yeah.
That's awesome that you know that off the top of your head.
Oh, dude, I love the Alliance. You know how much.
I know. You were so big.
I was a diehard Arizona Hot Shots fan.
Hot Shots were cool.
Since day one.
They had the Hot Shots had the tie to the Bears, so I was partly a Hot Shots.
Was that Singletary's team?
No, he was Memphis Express. He was Hackenberg's coach, actually.
Do we think the XFL will succeed?
I don't know. Part of me wants it to succeed because I found myself watching the first 3 weeks of the Alliance, and then it just went under.
I just want the NFL. I think it would be cool to adopt, just like they kind of had the NFL Europe standpoint. Why not expand the practice squad and give them a place to play?
And that's what I think Alliance was going for. But they just, business-wise, rating-wise, I think they were doing decent. It's just business-wise, they just couldn't pay the bills.
The NFL, the only problem is the NFL's got to get on board with it. But why wouldn't you have a shortened season to where your practice squad guys can actually play?
Right.
Minor league ball, why not?
Right. Let them play in.
There's so many injuries in the NFL. There's so many problems you have to worry about. So many unpredictable things. Why not have a mode for your practice squad guys to be playing?
I would think as a coach you would want that because you'd want to see that film. That granted they're playing against guys who are also at that same level, so it is still kind of a tainted data because you're playing against 7th round undrafted talent.
Absolutely,
but you're growing. You're still growing and learning.
Imagine playing some of these games at the training facilities of the NFL teams on the Saturday before a game.
Right.
I'd go into town early.
I'd do it.
2-for-1 games. I mean, it's get the minor league
Something.
feel. It would be fun. Just imagine being at Ray Nitschke Field up in Green Bay for whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
Your practice squad game on a Saturday.
I'd go to that.
Another reason to drink.
It's like the JV games before the varsity.
Yeah, it adds a fun component to it, and I'd be down for that.
Like the G League in basketball, it was kind of a weird concept in the beginning. Like D League had 12 teams, but now each team basically has a G League team, and it's doing pretty well.
Right.
And guys are getting drafted in the first round, knowing that they're going to go play in the G League for a year and then come back up.
Well, that starts next year now. Yeah, or this year, right? Did it start this year with the G League?
For high school kids.
Yeah, you don't have to go to college.
You can just go right. Yeah, you can do that now. So
I think I'll try it out. I think I'll give my shot.
Give
him a call. Yeah, I'm
a free agent. I'm unsigned.
We're actually all free agents in all sports.
That's
true. You guys know that.
That's very true.
So there's our 2019 AAF Alliance of American Football talk for the year.
Breakdown.
That's good enough.
I wanted to buy all those they had speed reps and stuff.
Yeah,
I thought they looked sweet.
They're cool stuff. Don't get me wrong. They just didn't have the.
There was a couple shows we went
players.
to, and there was people getting Daryl Johnston, Mike Singletary,
sure
San Antonio Commanders or whatever.
Weren't they shut though? Their helmets?
No, they were Riddell.
Their helmets were Riddell.
Yeah, they were sweet too. Sweet.
wonder if we get those on clearance.
Yeah, I'm sure you could get those on clearance.
Yeah. Mike Singletary, Memphis Express sign helmet.
I'm gonna get it and wear it next podcast.
That's great. You should wear it.
That's what we'll get for the cases. We'll just do the whole American.
Oh,
I think
the
we can fit.
Alliance.
There's 8 teams, right?
We'll do a post-mortem, like a funeral for the.
Yeah.
All dressed in black.
I'll pay out of my own pocket for those.
Sweet.
So, Adam, you've come prepared with a list.
Oh, okay. We're jumping
List
to
of
that. All
The
right.
list.
10
Okay.
10 players who led the NFL in jersey sales last year, was it?
I saw this today. No, I think it's going into 2019. Like as of right now, who over the summer has been the number one? Top 10.
Top 10
Okay.
jersey sales over the summer?
I'm gonna let you guys guess.
And this includes new rookies, right?
Yes.
Okay. I
So-
needed that hint.
All right.
Yeah. Start firing names off. Just do rapid fire.
I'm going to guess
top 10.
the number one jersey sale was probably because of his personality, because of his showmanship. I don't know if he's number one, but he's got to be on there. Baker Mayfield.
Baker's 5.
He's 5.
Yeah, he's
5.
5,
Ooh.
which is high. I think that's pretty high for a guy second year in the league. Which I know why he is. I'm not arguing why he's on here, but
I'm gonna throw it out there because it's on the list. Where's Brady at?
Brady's 1.
Is he 1?
Right. So if you're talking about
Yeah.
guys like Brady and these
Yeah,
guys,
I mean,
Baker being
it's-
5 is kind of.
And you gotta think the NFL.
You know what?
cool.
You know what's kind of funny? You know what hurts Baker? The colors of the jersey are
they're-
not
it's
great.
awful. Brown
They're
and orange.
ugly. So, and then Mahomes will probably be 2.
Mahomes is 6 behind Baker, which that's what I
Really?
thought is interesting. I thought Mahomes would be like 1 or 2 with Baker a couple behind him, but Baker is ahead of Mahomes.
Rogers is 4.
Wow.
Rodgers is 7 behind both.
7.
Baker.
Oh, he's falling.
So I mean, now we're
My
Oh, I know
We're
his
talking
2.
here.
I know his 2. Khalil Mack.
Khalil's 3.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
That's, I see
So we
what
have
you're
1, 3,
Surprising.
4, 5.
Defensive player.
He had
to
all
be
of
number
Chicago. You have 4 million people in the city
Who's 2?
who bought
Saquon
his
2?
jersey.
Saquon is 10. So you guys are like
Damn.
perfect right now.
2.
You
I
haven't missed
can't
one.
hit this 2.
2 is surprising. Not surprising that he's on the list, but he's surprising that he's number 2.
OBJ.
OBJ is number
I was
There
two.
just
it
going
is.
to guess that, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the move opened up
Oh,
a whole
yeah.
because everyone who hated the Giants but liked OBJ can now be like, well, I'll wear a Browns jersey.
Yeah.
I want them to
Sure.
not suck. Like it's
Right.
Right.
it opens
It's a
up a whole new
bandwagon
market.
thing.
Yeah.
So we're missing
You're missing 8 and 9, or you're missing 4. 4 to me is the
4.
biggest surprise. 4 to me is a guy who I'm surprised is even close to being in the top 10. 8 and 9, no surprise at all. They're right where they should be.
J.J. Watt?
Nope, no more defensive players on the list.
no more defense.
Only Mac, and surprisingly, he's number 3.
Number 4 is someone who shouldn't even be on there, you think, but made it?
Yeah. So of the 3 guys, we're talking 4, 8, and 9. We got a quarterback, a running back, and a receiver.
Oh, we got Goff.
No Goff.
Now you can get
No
up there.
Goff.
Not after the Super Bowl, huh? Would have thought that.
Yeah, surprising. I would put Goff over this guy, honestly, at this point in his career.
Did we say
Mm-mm.
Mahomes?
Breeze?
Mahomes is 6. Breeze is not in the top 10.
Matt Ryan?
No Matt Ryan.
Oh my.
I'm going to give you like 3 more guesses, and I'm going to tell you who the last.
Give me a
ones are. Okay, number 4, the guy who I'm surprised is a quarterback. We've mentioned him a little bit today.
Josh Allen.
No, close.
Sam Darnold?
Sam Darnold is 4.
Oh wow.
New
Well,
York?
that's New York doing that again.
That's
It's-
New York, but yeah, it's like over Rodgers and
Number
Mahomes
4 in
and
jersey
Baker.
sales?
Yeah, that's New York market.
Wow.
Pushing,
Sam
pushing Darnold.
Hopeful Jets fans.
Oh my
wow.
God.
And then for 8 and 9, we got a receiver for 8 and a running back for 9.
Antonio Brown?
Antonio Brown is
Yeah.
8.
Nice. That was nice.
Antonio Brown is 8, and then the running back is 9.
Let's go
Think of Saquon, but like 2 years ago. Saquon, whatever.
Alvin Kamara.
No, like that much hype.
That much hype 2 years ago.
He was like Barkley before Barkley was Barkley.
It is.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh
Oh.
yeah, it makes sense.
Duh.
Cowboys jersey. That's
Yeah.
we didn't.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
another
of
one where
Dallas.
it's 9 is even seems kind of low for him. But yeah, I'm not surprised with 1. I'm surprised
thought
with
that
2, 3,
Zeke
and
would be
4.
higher.
That is a wildly unpredictable list than like
Yeah.
the last. I would even say 5 years. In the last 5 years, you could sit down and definitively rattle off probably 8 of those without any help.
Right.
Well, it's funny because there's a lot of guys on here that we mentioned that aren't on this list that just rung a bell with me like, whoa, yeah, you're right. No Breeze, not on this list. No J.J. Watt. He was so big with the hurricane relief stuff
Yeah.
that he was up here for a little bit. Darnold, to me, at number 4, is my number 1
That's
surprise.
ridiculous. I think that's absurd.
My number 2 surprise is Baker being in front of Mahomes, but
Mhm.
I get why.
Mm-hmm.
And then my number 3 surprise is Khalil Mack, not being in the top 10, but being number 3. I think he would be like 9 or 10, just based
Defensive
off,
player.
because he's defense.
Yeah.
Baker and OBJ make sense to me because Cleveland has no jersey to buy in so long that they probably everyone who bought a Baker jersey bought an OBJ jersey
Right.
as well. So that's why those both
That's a good point.
So-
Nobody from Cleveland's had anybody to look forward to in a while.
And now
besides
you have
LeBron.
Now you have two, so
RG3.
most of them are just like, shit, I haven't bought a jersey in a decade. I'm going to buy two.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
going to
true.
get a brown, I'm going to get a white.
I've
and be
definitely
real happy
saved
with it.
my money on.
Yeah.
Yeah, these
Jersey
jerseys.
sales have been at a low.
That's
So
an interesting list.
How do we think this compares to memorabilia? If we're ranking the top 10 guys,
Well,
we could look at it a couple different ways. Top 10 guys value-wise, like cost-wise, obviously Brady being number one
Yeah.
is pretty much up there. Rodgers would be close to number two if we were talking about SIG costs and stuff
Right.
like that. He'd be well in front of Beckham and Darnold, even Mayfield. Mahomes is high now.
Value-wise, it brings a lot of reason to change up inventory.
Right.
It's one of the we don't have a lot. We've historically never had a lot of those. Obviously, Sam Darnold being
Right.
new. Yeah, it kind of opens up a cool
It's an
possibility
eye-opener.
of, going
Kinda
after either hosting our own or going after some more of those guys.
It shows where the market's thinking, and I think Darnold at number 4 is a surprise.
Yeah, young. The market's going young.
Yeah.
it
Yes.
also shows you that the market is drifting away from defensive players.
Right. Who sells? Obviously, what was that? 30 or not 30, 60% quarterbacks,
Yeah,
and a couple running backs, a couple receivers, one
right.
defensive player.
One defensive player in the top 10.
Yeah. So that shows that the collector's market, I'm not saying it shows it, but I'm saying I think they line up together as far as collectors, jersey sales. They seem to be pretty similar.
And then you got the guy who just wears his Ryan Longwell jersey to all his Packer games.
Yeah, that's sweet. Kicker.
It's a gamer though, so it's autographed like game used. So
oh, wow.
I
That's
have to wear it.
That
But
guy's a complete outlier.
I just like it. I like it. It's my tailgate jersey. It smells like a grill.
that's awesome. That's great.
Well,
Yeah, there's my top 10.
that's good. I mean, I like that
Fact of the
kind of
week.
topic. I mean, it just completely correlates to the most expensive item. Tom Brady is the most
Yep.
desired item.
Will be that way for a while.
Supply and demand there.
Yep.
You want his autograph, you're going to have to pay for it.
It'll be
And-
nice to see that list in 12 months.
Yeah,
it'll
that's true.
be different. I should have did a little bit of digging and see what the 2018 was to see where, Sam Darnold probably wasn't up there.
It's kind of surprising that there's not a lot of rookies on there. There's no Kyler Murray. You figure the number one pick.
I think this year's, and I think we see it in memorabilia too, it's just a weaker
Mhm.
year. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
there were 3 quarterbacks in the first round, but would those 3 quarterbacks have been first-round picks, say, if they were in last year's draft class or even 2 years ago when it was Mahomes, Trubisky, and Watson? Probably not. I think Haskins and Jones were kind of the product of the weaker class. I think Murray was going to go number 1 no matter what. But, yeah, just not a lot of – there's not 4 quarterbacks in the top 10 this year, so
Cool.
collector's market's down.
Good stuff, Adam. Thanks for bringing that up. That was good.
Thank you.
You brought that up like 1 minute before we started.
Yeah.
Here's my idea.
Breaking
Yeah.
news from Bleacher Report,
Right.
so I had to bring that in.
Well, I think that about wraps it up for this episode. I want to thank everybody for watching. Continue support. We're getting more and more views every single episode, which is
Mhm.
great. That's why we can bring you these new headsets
Sweet
and
headsets.
microphones. Sweet
Hey,
headsets.
we got like 25 or so new cool interviews coming up in the next 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stick with us. There's gonna be a lot of fun.
Right.
Hopefully some live shows.
It's not just going to be 3 bums talking in a
No.
room.
I mean, while we know you and love watching these 3 bums talk,
There's one kid that wears pretty much the same outfits every single episode.
Yeah.
Same shirts and shorts every episode.
Who's that? Is that
Me.
You're supporting.
Oh, whatever. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
And
We're
we're
my
looking.
local gunfighter.
We're looking to do some live shows too. So stay tuned. Especially in the Chicagoland area, there might be a chance to
Yeah. Swing by.
swing by
Fan
and meet some
questions.
athletes,
Awesome.
get some autographs, and have some fun. So.
Cool. That about wraps this episode up. We'll see you guys next time.